Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy. Movie Web, I guess, is now telling us why Chris Hemsworth bailed on Star Trek 4. Well, because they're not getting made, because they don't have money and funding and etc, and no interest. There's really not a lot of interest in the whole JJ Abrams treatment or destruction of Star Trek. I mean, there's memes going around, I'm sure you've seen them on Twitter. JJ ruined 2 universes, Star Wars and Star Trek, and yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he did. I'm not a fan. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Going to the convention in Vegas because of you guys with the GoFundMe, and thank you so much, and there's still time to chip in if you guys do want. I am not a fan of the JJ movies. They're not really Star Trek to me. They're closer to Star Wars. There's Star Trek for Star Wars fans. You know, Star Trek is always a niche of a niche. It's always that thing that some sci-fi fans like, but not all sci-fi fans. I mean, there used to be a Star Wars versus Star Trek argument, and there was a few weirdos like me who liked both. And I like both, don't get me wrong, I do like both. Not the JJ Star Trek, though, because it's too much like Star Wars, only not really well done Star Wars either. And that's a problem. I think that's a problem. Maybe with both of them is the whole JJ Abrams involvement. But here we go, let's get into this. Chris Hemsworth has weighed in on why he opted not to participate in Star Trek 4, which may or may not happen at this point. Oh, it's because they don't have money. They don't have money and funding and interest, and, you know, they can throw out little, like, oh, we're gonna get this, we're gonna get that. No. It's smoke and mirrors, I think, at this point, in my opinion. I don't know for a fact. I mean, this movie has been in the works for several years now. No, we don't want it. We don't need it. Producer JJ Abrams initially got fans excited by revealing the idea was to have Hemsworth come back as Kirk's dad in a 4th installment of the rebooted franchise, even before 2016's Star Trek Beyond was released. For now, at least, Hemsworth isn't ready to suit back up as George Kirk, and for him, it all comes down to the story. Well, here's the thing, though. You got Chris Hemsworth, who's Thor. Marvel is doing, you know, it's for everybody. These Marvel movies are kind of like Indiana Jones and Star Wars. You know, they're kind of for everybody. Star Trek is still the niche of the niche. When I was a kid seeing the movies in the 80s in the theater, right? My first one was Star Trek 4 in the theater. I had to go to the next town over because it wasn't in our local theater. Our local theater only had 2 movies, right? And they weren't the biggest draw. They weren't the big thing that everybody was going for. It's a niche of a niche. And that is one of the problems. They're trying to make it too mainstream, too much for everybody. Star Trek has very cerebral moments as well as action. And you kind of need all of that. And I would even dare say that Star Trek is more cerebral and more intellectual and more thought-provoking than just action, right? You have probably a 75% to 25 maybe. What do you guys think? What's the percentage of like cerebral, intellectual sort of stories to the action ones in Star Trek versus the JJ, which is like what, 90% action? You know, they're so formulaic. You've got action beat. Oh, JJ Abrams Star Trek for modern audience, or rebooted Star Trek for modern audiences. Why is modern audiences hard to say? A decade ago, with his 2009 movie that introduced us to the new cast, and you know the new cast was fine. There's nothing wrong with them. You have most of them are actually pretty decent. I don't mind Zachary Quinto as a Spock. I mean, I think most of the cast are really good. Chris Pine's probably the best pick for Kirk they could have found. Simon Pegg, it's kind of a nitpick for him. I don't really care for the accent so much that he's doing as Scotty, and he's a little too animated, a little too hyper for a Scotty for me. I mean, Scotty was more of a laid-back, stereotypical drunken Scotsman in some of Star Trek, at least in our minds and in our hearts, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Simon Pegg seems to be bouncing off the walls a bit much, but that's just a nitpick. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Not the hugest fan of the JJ movies. They're kind of bad. I skipped the second one because I heard it was terrible. Everything I didn't like about the first and any of the other stuff like Discovery, I certainly probably would hate in the second movie. So, oh, I didn't feel like we landed on a reason to revisit that yet. I didn't want to be underwhelmed by what I was going to bring to the table. I didn't want to be underwhelmed by what I was going to bring. Wow. He wasn't satisfied with what was being presented to him. Oh. In a recent interview, Chris Hemsworth said he wasn't satisfied in what was being presented to him. I'm going to reread this. I didn't feel like we landed on a reason to revisit that yet. I didn't want to be underwhelmed by what I was going to bring to the table. Holy crap. That's basically saying, hey, your script sucked. Your story sucked. Or I'm going to be lazy at this. I'm going to come in and basically give you a scale performance because you're giving me scale salary. Maybe that's what he was saying. I don't know. What do you guys interpret that as? In the years since that first Star Trek movie was released, Chris Hemsworth has become a massive global superstar. Oh yeah. Largely thanks to his work as Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh yeah, the more Thor was on screen, the more I really appreciated the character in the movies. You know, I really liked Thor Ragnarok, and I even liked him in Endgame, and I understand completely why people didn't. He was probably one of my favorite parts of Endgame, to be perfectly honest. And Thor Ragnarok was surprisingly good, considering I'm not like the hugest comic book movie person, you know. Like they're the last movies I get really excited for, but they always end up being better than I assume they're gonna be, because it's just a mental stigma, right? Chris Pine, who plays James Kirk in the franchise, has also become a big star in his own right. And I forgot to turn off my notifications, but thank you so much for subscribing. A report from August 2018 noted that Star Trek 4, which seemed to be coming together, was in danger of losing both of them. And it came down to money. That is true. It did come down to money. And another new subscriber. Oh, God, thank you guys so much. While that may be a part of it, it would seem story also is a factor, at least for Chris Hemsworth. Then again, it could be both things. They aren't mutually exclusive. Oh, yeah. See, why would he go to Star Trek? Like I said, niche of a niche when he's a superstar. You don't need that. You don't need that step down in pay and respect and treatment. I've heard so many rumors about what's happening on Discovery, and those are pretty much the same people behind the scenes. It's all Bad Robot and Secret Hideout. They're kind of... one of them owns the other, or is a subsidiary of the other. So, of course, he doesn't want to get involved with that. Who would? Then again, it could be both things. Yes. In any event, the future of the franchise, or at least that particular movie, is very much uncertain. S.J. Clarkson, known for her work on such shows as Jessica Jones and Dexter, has been tapped by Paramount to direct the movie. Well, yeah, but it's still not really happening, I don't think, anytime soon. She will become the first ever female director to helm a Star Trek movie in this long-running franchise. Unfortunately, that may never come to pass. That's the thing. We don't want it. John Cho, who plays Sulu, seems confident the studio will work it out at some point. Meanwhile, they also have Quentin Tarantino's R-rated Star Trek movie kicking around. Oh no, I don't think that one's gonna happen. I think that's just hey, we talked to him. It's kind of like the same thing going on with the Michelle Yeoh Star Trek series that they keep saying, oh yeah, we're it's in the works. They don't have a series order for that. I broke that news right from Alex Kurtzman's own interview, and I got a copyright strike the next day because I think they were mad about it. Depending on how the Tarantino feels about the script that Mark Smith from The Revenant penned, working from an idea, form an idea from an idea. Oh Lord, proofread your articles. He pitched to the studio for Chris Hemsworth. He'll next be seen on screen in Men in Black International, which blah blah blah. I don't care about that at all. I'm not surprised by this. This kind of indicates that, yeah, it's money. Yeah, I'm too big of a star. All the things that we already kind of knew. And I'm not surprised. But I don't understand why bother putting out Star Trek news like this right now, other than, hey, they just dropped a Picard trailer, right? Because this is kind of irrelevant. Nobody really cares about this right now. It's not important to anything other than, hey, they just dropped a Picard teaser. So they're getting Star Trek out in people's vocabularies. They're getting it fresh on people's minds. Nothing wrong with that. It's just interesting sometimes how the timing of these things work out. So tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. And like I said, I still have the GoFundMe up for Star Trek Las Vegas. Autographs are more expensive than I anticipated. I've never actually been to one of these, so first time. I'm super excited and scared. I am Mecha Random 42, PO Box 1566, Loveland, Colorado 80539. And as always, I will see you either on Midnight's Edge After Dark, on Creepy Little Book, talking paranormal and ancient history and weird spooky stuff, or around. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere that you want to be. I don't know. I'll work on it. I'll work on that. Bye! Thanks for watching! If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!